The story begins with Seok Jin, who comes from a wealthy family and has never needed to work. However, he's always been dedicated to his studies because his parents want him to be the best. Seok Jin feels relieved when he hears that Kyung Joo, the girl who used to hold the top spot at school, has gone abroad to study. This meant he would finally move up from second place to first. But when he sees her from a distance, he realizes that she never left. At a student dinner, Ji-soo, a new student, is introduced, dazzling everyone with her beauty. When she hears that Seok Jin's nickname is second place, she casually remarks that he could be first. His friends, however, don't believe it and decide to make a bet. If Seok Jin doesn't get first place, he'll have to wear a shirt that says, "Forever second place," and do a tap dance, something quite embarrassing. Although he's unsure how to lower Kyung Joo's grades, Seok Jin accepts the challenge. His friend Kwang Ryol suggests he pretend to be a secret admirer to throw Kyung Joo off balance. While Seok Jin finds the idea absurd, he thinks it might actually work. So, he places a chocolate bar in Kyung Joo's locker along with an anonymous note saying he likes her and will be watching her during her upcoming performance. Seok Jin believes this will be enough to rattle her, but it clearly doesn't work, as she delivers a flawless performance. Kwang Ryol then proposes that Seok Jin should confess his feelings to her in a way that would disgust her. He even demonstrates this with a random girl to show Seok Jin how it's done. Following this advice, Seok Jin arranges a meeting with Kyung Joo and, in an exaggerated and awkward manner, confesses that he likes her and asks her to be his girlfriend. To his shock, she accepts, revealing that she likes him too. In reality, Kyung Joo already knew about Seok Jin's plan because the random girl, who is her friend Min Ah, overheard the boys' conversation. Kyung Joo decided to become his girlfriend out of envy. Envy that Seok Jin can focus on his studies without the burden of having to work. She plans to ensure that he won't be able to maintain his top ranking at school. Meanwhile, Seok Jin can hardly believe that Kyung Joo agreed to be his girlfriend. He even considers backing out of the bet, but after seeing his friend Min Kyu fail a grade after breaking up with his girlfriend, he realizes that getting Kyung Joo to fall in love might just distract her from her studies. From then on, Seok Jin begins visiting Kyung Joo at all her study sessions, observing her and bringing flowers, until he's so exhausted that he falls asleep in the gym. When he wakes up, he looks for Kyung Joo to walk her home, and feeling a bit awkward, he asks about her dreams, discovering that they share the same goal, to get a job at a good company and have a happy family. At that moment, Seok Jin holds Kyung Joo's hand when he notices it's bleeding, but she instinctively strikes him. He comments that it's normal for couples to hold hands, but Kyung Joo, embarrassed, apologizes, saying she was startled, and leaves first. This moment reminds Kyung Joo of a year ago when she cut her finger during class, and it was Seok Jin who gave her a band-aid. On their first date, they go to an escape room and spend 3 hours playing. Seok Jin then thinks of a way to make Kyung Joo's heart race and gives her a kiss on the cheek. He even gets ready to give her a real kiss, but Kyung Joo surprises him by taking the initiative and kissing him first. This is ironic because, the night before, Kyung Joo assured her friend that she didn't like Seok Jin and would never kiss him. Despite her shyness, she had secretly researched online about how to kiss. Seok Jin couldn't believe how good she was at it, and he simply let himself get lost in the moment. However, they had to part ways because the game they were playing didn't allow kissing. After that moment, both were visibly embarrassed, and soon after, she received news that her grandmother was in the hospital in her hometown. Without hesitation, he offered to drive her there. At the hospital, Kyung Joo wept in front of her grandmother, pleading with her to stop working so hard. When her grandmother was discharged, Seok Jin offered to drive them back, but her grandmother insisted it was too late, suggesting they both spend the night at her house. Once they arrived, Kyung Joo showed Seok Jin to the room where he would sleep and thanked him, which made him happy, especially when he noticed a picture of her. The next day, Kyung Joo told Seok Jin to return by himself because she would be staying an extra day. He asked her grandmother if he could stay as well, to which she gladly agreed. Throughout the day, they went to the market and even took a bike ride together. Kyung Joo had to take the lead as Seok Jin didn't know how to ride. While he was busy taking pictures of the scenery, she snapped a photo of him secretly and complained about having to do all the pedaling. It was then that he admitted he never learned to ride a bike because his parents only pushed him to study. Grateful, he mentioned that this break was much needed, and she offered to teach him how to ride whenever he was ready, which he accepted with enthusiasm. Before they left, her grandmother gave Seok Jin some money as a token of gratitude for being her granddaughter's friend and remarked that his parents must be proud to have such a good son. Seok Jin humbly responded that he was only second in his class, but her grandmother pointed out that being second is still a significant achievement, not something everyone can accomplish. Back at school, Seok Jin sought out Kyung Joo after hearing she had a nosebleed. However, Ji-soo interrupted, asking if he was really dating Kyung Joo since they both had the same profile picture. Seok Jin denied it, and Kyung Joo confirmed that they were not together. Alone with Kyung Joo, he suggested they keep their relationship a secret and asked if she was feeling better, offering to take over her job so she wouldn't be so exhausted. She replied that if he wanted to try working, he should find another job on his own. When Seok Jin returned home, his father called him a fool and said that if he didn't secure the top spot in his class, he might as well enlist in the army. With exams approaching, Kwang Ryol advised Seok Jin to break up with Kyung Joo just minutes before the test so she wouldn't be able to concentrate. However, he couldn't bring himself to do it, and instead, Kyung Joo ended things, saying he wasn't the right guy for her. During the exam, Seok Jin struggles to focus, his thoughts consumed by Kyung Joo, who quickly finishes her test and leaves the room. After the exam, Seok Jin gathers Kyung Joo's books to help her carry them. At that moment, she confronts him, accusing him of pretending to like her just to secure the top spot. Seok Jin admits to lying, but explains that he acted out of desperation, something Kyung Joo cannot grasp, as he isn't burdened by debt or the need for a scholarship, like she is. He points out that having money doesn't mean he can't be desperate, explaining that despite his efforts, people still called him a fool because of her. She coldly responds that she doesn't care about his problems, just as he didn't care about what she had to endure. The scene shifts to the exam results, where Seok Jin discovers he has secured first place, while Kyung Joo has failed miserably. Ji-soo comments that she suspected something was going on between them, and Seok Jin confirms it, leading to Ji-soo's disappointment, as she had believed he liked her. Seok Jin's mother congratulates him for his achievement, but his father dismissively remarks that he will always be a fool. In response, Seok Jin leaves behind his wallet and watch, stating that coming in second would be just fine for him. He then travels to Kyung Joo's grandmother's village to return the money she gave him, feeling unworthy of it. Overcome with guilt, he breaks down in tears, unaware that Kyung Joo is watching. She asks if he's finished crying, and when he says yes, he adds that he'd like to stay so she can teach him how to ride a bike. The next morning, she does just that, and after much practice, they apologize to each other and continue their lessons. Over time, Seok Jin masters cycling and decides to leave home to live his own life. Back at school, he confesses to Kyung Joo that he truly likes her, but she remains silent, still unable to trust him. After classes, he surprises her by showing up in a shirt that reads, "Kyung Joo, I like you," and starts dancing, drawing laughter from some of their classmates. After his performance, Seok Jin hands Kyung Joo a bouquet of flowers, asking if she still doesn't trust him, and once again, he confesses his feelings, asking her to be his girlfriend. This time, she accepts. Embarrassed but happy, they hold hands and run off together, excitedly discussing the possibility of taking a gap year, bringing their story to a close.